You can do them at whatever point. The big thing is once you've unlocked them, you need to hold them in your hand. Don't lock them again. So I like to do it as soon as I'm entering on the 45.
Okay.
You know, and then so if we start reading the checklist now and kind of just circle like in our loiter mode, right?
Yeah.
So we just get into a right bank turn here. You know, we have another probably 2 minutes before we're actually enter the 45.
Yeah.
Right. So this is kind of time to judge everything. We can go over the checklist.
So gear, traffic, we're gonna look, but I didn't see anyone taking off. The wind, we're gonna have a little quarterly tailwind, I think. Airspeed, we're gonna aim between 55 and 60. Trim feels pretty good. Probably gonna trim down a little bit. Speed up.
So,
and we'll do spoils on the 45. Are we too far away from T-Vines? Is that what you're gonna say?
a little bit more that we started in loiter mode and then you kind of got distracted by the, you know, you kind of started circling.
Yeah.
And then you kind of got distracted by the checklist and rolled out, but rolled out away from the airport.
Okay, rolled towards the airport.
Yeah, if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna kind of get distracted by doing something, try and do it and keep heading this way. Especially, we know there's a little bit of a northerly influence, right?
Yeah.
Not a ton, but we'd rather fly upwind than downwind, further downwind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna pull spoilers.
Okay.
All right. They look closed, and we'll make a call. Williams traffic, Roger Juliet hotels on the 45, left downwind, runway 16. You think I can hear that?
Yeah.
All right. Speed. I'm gonna get a little bit more, and then we're high.
Okay. So how do we fix that?
I'm going to go out a little bit further than I normally do.
Can we fix it right now too?
We could if we pulled spoilers.
Or just aim out. See that tree on the corner by the ditch?
Yeah.
Aim for that for a little bit. Just kind of slide out, make everything a little wider.
Okay. All right. Traffic looks good. No one's on there. Still pretty high. We're just gonna bring it out here.
So, as we're high, what is our speed doing?
Read it still.
Yep, so make sure, keep all that in the cross check.
That's gonna look fast. Alright, let's I'm gonna pull and we're gonna go.
Okay.
Half. 1, 2, let's go.
Nice gentle turns in the pattern, right?
Yeah.
And shallow the bank just a little bit and extend this out. Good. Alright.
Speed, I like the speed.
How are you looking?
This looks good. I like this.
Okay.
Where we are. Looks good. I'm not gonna pull up. And it feels a little high now, but probably not for the new looking. So that's a little too rough.
Shallow. So I would agree with being high, but we're aiming for what?
The first white line.
Perfect.
Alright, we're high.
Yep, so we're going to full spoilers for a second. But let the nose keep coming down. Don't keep that side picture looking the same, right? Keep our speed the same.
Alright, that's good.
Okay. Pulling it off. Pulling it off.
Okay.
Cool. So,
This got slow again. That was my mistake.
where was that?
I got slow again.
You didn't get slow.
No, on the when we were on the downwind.
Oh, for a second there, but that's not a big deal. We were kind of high and focused on other things. We get a little slow on the down one for a second. So the big thing is, we didn't quite touch down tail wheel first. There, it was good. You kind of let it drop in. As we were flaring out, it started to sink, and we just didn't quite.
So okay, I kind of main wheel landed it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So right there, you know what I'm saying? When you felt it sink in and touch down. Yeah. Right there, if we gave it that last little we would have touched down.
I mean, are we purposely trying to?
We're not pulling the tail wheel onto the ground. No.
But are we trying to stall it faster by giving it like that?
I didn't mean by like a pull. Just that last keep pulling it back all the way back until the stick's buried.
Yeah.
Not meaning.
I thought we could have still been flying though. That's why I didn't go. Like I thought the wheel was gonna come up. If
you feel, you still kind of want to.
But I should have had a higher attitude regardless.
Exactly. The attitude should have been, what we were holding was just too low. Yeah. So when we're holding off, we need to bring that nose up just a little bit more and hold it there. And if it does start to take off, that's fine. We just relax a little bit and then let it, we kind of play in that area. Yeah. But especially, so the last little bit of it should basically look like, if you're standing here, this is about, eye level looking out here, is about where we're flying over the ground, right? We're about a foot off the ground, and I'm standing about a foot and a half higher than you. Yeah. That last little bit, as we're flaring along here and we see this, we'll see the glider start to kind of sink in as it's running out of energy. That's when we need to keep the nose here. Keep it here, keep it here, keep it here. Boom, and then that's our landing attitude.
We could have landed a lot further. Like, we probably landed, 50, 100 feet past the second white line?
Probably something like that. And we were only, we would have only carried another 50 feet or so if we had been all the way back. We felt it land on the main wheel. Okay. That was good. That was basically the high approach. Yeah. So just getting on it earlier, like, hey, that's high. We could have made that adjustment earlier on base. You were thinking it the whole time. We were just not sure how high it was going to be. Yeah. And so on final, I was fine. The big thing is look at how much vertical, or how fast we're coming out of the sky.
We had to arrest that descent pretty quick. It was a lot to stop. So. Yeah.
And so getting back to half spoilers as early as possible is key. That way you get back on a nice path. And so getting those full spoilers out earlier, getting back on a half.
Set up in a little break. So I don't see any traffic. Gears down if we needed it. Wind hasn't changed from the north. Speed up. Airspeed will go 55-60. We'll set the trim forward a little bit. And I'm going to do one more. I'm going to keep going. And we'll check the spoilers in the 45, make a radio call. 6, gear down. Alright, and let's check the spoiler. They're out, and they're good, and they're back. Alright, we're going to cross the road, I think, right at where we want to be. Alright, back. A little bit, speed's good, altitude, 1,000 feet right of the road, so a normal pattern. Good crap. Alright, speed, I like where it's at. Seems good. Runway's clear. A little far out. We're a little high, but I'm gonna see how this goes. Well, I'm cool with this. Speed's good, keeping it up. Now we're high. Yep. That looks great. Good speed, descent rate, right at the first light. I didn't want to check the nose wheel wasn't down yet, so I didn't want to check it because we checked it and the thing dropped, right?
Yeah, but that's not.
But
that's not the biggie. It doesn't matter if it drops.
Okay.
The big thing is check it while it's back there. Whatever happens, happens. The nose wheel's gonna drop when it's gonna drop.
Okay.
So that was great. We ended up high again.
Yeah.
But we started at the right place, right? We didn't start high.
Yeah, I'm amazed
really? So what would cause us to be high?
I think we pulled spoilers a little late. We probably could have pulled it, waited, like done a 3 count and then gone.
So, but that's not what we normally do, right?
Yeah, but we did like a long,
it's pretty much our normal pattern that we've been doing that's been on point, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not, if it's a normal pattern, what else would influence and change a normal pattern?
I mean, we've kept our airspeed. It's been a slower, like 55, not 60 pattern.
So think more environmental factors.
Is it just a hot day? Or no? Oh, we have
a little bit of a west wind, right?
Yeah.
So you had to crab for it, and you made note of it on downwind, right? So it's enough to have to crab for it. It might not be much on the ground, but it's a little bit more aloft.
How's that keeping us up though? Higher.
It's not keeping us up. What's it doing? Our ground speed's faster.
Yeah.
On downwind, on base.
On base, yeah.
So we have our, all intents and purposes, flying a shorter base.
Yeah.
We're coming out of the sky for a shorter period of time, right?
Yep.
Which is allowing us to need to go to full spoilers for 5 or 6 seconds, because we're losing that 5 or 6 seconds.
We don't have that long base. That base is short.
Exactly. Yep. It's shorter because of the wind. So you need to account for all of those things. You're adapting to it well, but We're just not.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that was perfect landing wise, speed, control, amount of flare, touching down tail first, great. Smooth, probably one of the smoothest landings so far.
Okay.
The rollout though, were we wings level or wing low?
No, the right wing was low.
Why?
I was trying to get over here.
So,
but I wanted to have the other wing.
Yeah, so wing down into the wind.
Yeah.
And that's also going to help you steer. So opposite wing down for the direction you want to go, right? For the, remember the nose wheel steering thing?
Yeah.
And mostly, more importantly, keep the wings level and steer with the rudder while you have the authority.
Okay.
Yeah. But if anything, keep the wing down into the wind.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What now? Same thing?
What do you want to do? Do you want to do this? You want to try that one more time?
Yeah,
That'd
sure.
be,
Yeah.
No, that would probably be a good day to do it. That gives kind of the whole day to see if there's any morning wackiness and doing good solo.
We're gonna do a left turn around 2 lines. All right. Feels good. We're 1500. So we slow up. We got time. Gear down, we'll check the traffic. I don't see anyone around us, things over there. Wind, airspeed we're going to bring up when we get out of here. And we're going to set the trim down. And check the scores on the 45 so we know position. So, we got a ton of time here. I'm going to go around. One more go around and we're heading out. Do I need to do like any instrument weirdness, like airspeed indicator goes out or anything like that?
Well, at some point we do it. Occasionally we might do it. You know, we'll do it before licensing for sure. Before solo, it's typical. We'll pop it in there every once in a while.
Okay. Alright, now let's get the speed up and get it.
You'll find that when it's, you know, the altimeter is the weirdest one to lose. That one kind of sucks.
Yeah.
The airspeed indicator, it's not that big of a deal. You don't realize how much you don't use it until it's covered up and you don't have the opportunity to use it.
Got it. Alright, you're closed. Williams traffic letters and doing hotels on the 45. 116, you're down. Alright, this is, we're faster and lower than we've been at other times. So, let's start right now. And we're lower than we have been, so, but we're right, and we're a little low. A little low.
But we're a little lower. Are we also in tighter than normal?
A little bit.
And we have a little bit of a easterly breeze, right?
Yes. So
all things counting against us, so
base is going to be shorter. Let's make sure to keep the speed up. And yeah, I think we're good. We're just going to pull right before turning base. I think we're good. Okay. Alright, look at half. Keep the nose down.
Yeah.
We were low?
We were a little bit low. But,
I had this I was just like...
It looked good, but I think what I didn't account for so much was the slight crosswind that is going to eat away for a little bit.
Yeah. I was going to close it up and get long, but I was just like, no, just don't change it. We're going to make it.
Yeah.
We're going to go short.
That was a good lesson of this is, you know, that was the landing you wanted to. And so did you kind of see we held it in longer than maybe we needed to. We could have inched it up a little bit early, but we held it down. Held the nose down on very, 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 very short final, right before we inched up.
Yeah, we kept it up.
We kept it down longer than we had before.
Yeah.
We leveled off longer, but we also had to pull up more. I felt you kind of hesitant to want to raise the nose up more as far as we ended up with it. Does that make sense? When we were about a third of the way through the flare, when we were rounded out already, we're level along the ground, and I was saying, you know,
keep going,
bring it up to the car. Yeah. Did you see that visually? Like looking at the cars down at the end of the runway, bringing the nose up to put the nose on the cars?
I think I need to look further out.
Yes.
I'm looking I'm looking at the spot, and then I need to bring my eyes up, and I need to start looking at the horizon.
Yes, exactly.
As soon as you come too far.
Yeah, as soon as you come past your spot, you come in. There's a transitional point. As soon as you're coming in and you start to flare, your eyes are at the end of the runway now.
Yeah.
Stare down that Tahoe and bring the nose to the Tahoe. Okay. You're gonna be way better off.
All right. Okay.
Feel good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Progress.
Let's see how much wind we actually have. We haven't flown a whole lot on the land. Let's circle.
There's the field. Okay, got it.
Cool. Let's do a right turn and see if we can kind of figure out how much wind drift we have and where the wind's out of.
Okay. Maybe a little more speed for the turn. So I'm going to line up with the center field here and just kind of see where we fly straight.
Do you see the wind drift?
Oh yeah.
So what's the best way to kind of figure out wind drift?
I'm kind of looking at the yaw string a little bit.
So the yaw string's still going to have the relative wind across the canopy for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to, because we're penetrating, it doesn't really matter where the wind's out of.
But is it like, I'm kind of using the crab angle that it wants to be at versus the lines on the road, like the road lines.
So a little bit, but to accurately do that, you got to do a cross section, right? So we'd have to do this and then turn 90 degrees to the right.
Yeah.
And then you'd see where you're drifting. If we circle over something in a consistent big turn, we're going to drift better. We're going to calculate our drift. So start a right-handed turn.
Got it.
At about 30 degrees of bank. This is where it's book versus real world, right? The book says kind of fly a cross section over two things.
Yeah.
This is a quicker, easier way to assess it. So the big thing is get it established in this turn, kind of get it trimmed up so it's nice and consistent. Because if we change speeds, it's going to change our radius of turn.
Yeah.
But as we come over right here, we look down below us and see this building's right below us, right?
Yeah. I feel like this will take a while.
No longer than flying north-south and then flying east-west, right? And then that's only going to give us, we're going to say, oh, we drifted a little bit to the south and a little bit to the west, you know, it's southwest. This is going to show us exactly where we're being pushed to.
So, is it opposite to what's on the ground right now? Like, I feel like we're being pushed east.
So
I think we're probably going to get farther away, actually.
We're going to end up further to the west. That building's going to end up further east of us, right?
Yeah.
So as we come back over, we also kind of slowed down a little bit, but not a whole lot. But if we look down at the building...
Yeah, we're no longer over the building.
Yeah, we're kind of just slightly east of it. Very little movement, though.
Yeah.
I mean, relatively.
Yeah. Okay. It's not too much.
No. All right. So let's line back up on this road that we were over, that you started off lining up over.
Headed east?
Yeah, headed east. I'll do a forward slip.
Okay.
And then we'll take that forward slip and we'll turn it 90 degrees. We'll turn it to the north. Okay? Does that make sense?
We'll turn it to the north. Okay. Yeah.
So we'll start slipping to the east, then we'll end up slipping to the north.
Okay.
Alright, go ahead.
So you want to
slip just straight along, kind of parallel to this road. We don't have to be right over it. And then turn and go parallel to this ditch line. One of these two ditch lines that are to the right of it, to the left of us.
Okay. So slip here.
Yep. Lots of rudder. Lots of rudder. Keep on over. More rudder, more rudder, more rudder. More rudder. And now turn it.
So less rudder.
Less rudder, more aileron. Keep that rudder in there though. And then more aileron.
So like that?
Yep. So we're still slipping, we're still coming around the corner, we still have a heightened rate of descent. And then now we're going to keep it in a slip but head north. So we're going to let out the level the wing a little bit and add more rudder.
Oh, cool. I like that.
So now we're still slipping along, right?
Yep.
So let's go to the right again, or to the left again. So turn left again, towards the airport.
So we need to lose altitude. We could just kind of sit up here a little faster and...
Yep, and then slip straight towards the airport. So more rudder, more rudder, more rudder. And then a little more aileron. Good, and then recover. So we're kind of slipping. There's a little bit of a heightened rate of sink, but not a big one, right?
Yeah.
So we can get a much more aggressive slip going.
I could, yeah.
So, and get in a much more aggressive turn. So, but you kind of get the concept of turning and slipping that way, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's set up for a normal pattern for this first one, okay?
Okay. We have plenty of, no, I'm gonna kind of stay right here, and we probably have enough to go over the 2 lines and back, but I don't see the point.
Okay.
So I'll stick here a little bit, and I'm just gonna do my speed slow, and in order to get that speed I want, we're probably gonna have to lose 100 feet, 50 feet or so. So I'm just gonna go a little out and back here. I'm going to practice. I'm gonna do my checklist. Alright, gear down, traffic, not seeing anyone around us. We know where the wind's from, airspeed we need to pick up. Trim is, let's set that a little forward. Radar position. So let's gain some speed and turn around and we'll get on it.
less altitude to get to where we need to go?
In that case, we needed more altitude. So.
We have the wind at our back and the downwind, right?
Yep.
It means we're going to get up there faster with less altitude loss.
Yeah.
So we might end up a lot higher.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 1200 right now, so it's pretty
let's
high.
keep it wide.
Yep.
Let's fly almost, see this ditch line below us to the right?
Yep.
Let's fly all the way out along that box. We'll fly a nice big wide pattern this time. So kick it over towards that ditch a little bit more.
Williams traffic is Rider Duty Hotel. It's on the left, downwind for 163 down. Yeah, we're super high. Super, super high.
So we can up and spoilers early if we want to.
And we're at least 200 feet higher than I want to be. So I'm just going to keep it along the ditch line here. And I'm bringing it slow. So here we go.
Also, what's going to happen when we turn base? Turn final?
We're going to speed up. Our ground speed's going to speed up.
On final, we're going to fly into a little bit of a quarter headwind, right? Yeah, so we're going to do a little crab, and we're going to have a little headwind, so that's going to slow us up a little bit.
Yep. Now we're low. It wasn't pretty, but it got it done.
No, that was fine. That was fine. We made, really only made one adjustment in the pattern, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And we got
adjustments is needed in the pattern. The big thing is we don't want to have to make 3 adjustments.
Yeah.
And if we make 2, that's fine. As soon as we made 3, we just undid one of ours. So, at some point we had a big judgment call.
Yeah. And I got slow again after I pulled spoilers, and I think that to me is like the minute I pull, I need to say like, okay, let's go, and that's when I get the nose down and I pull and I'm like half, and I got to be like,
yeah, right.
And I waited.
A part of it I think is it's when you pull the spoilers, you look out at the wing to see where the spoilers are at.
Yeah.
And you're pulling as you look out of the wing, and so your head goes like this, and then you aren't paying attention to the nose, so it wants to naturally come back. So if you check the fly in, don't change the attitude, pull the spoilers out, make sure nothing changes, look, and then put the spoilers away, and then make sure nothing changes. You'd be a little more cognizant.
Oh, it's not when I checked them. It was right before I turned base.
Oh, yeah, when you're just kind of looking around at,
and I was just
back
like,
here, trying to make your decisions.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? You're going to go, oh, hey, what's going on back there? And you're just going to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. That's really not that big of a deal. The big thing is, as soon as you start with the spoilers, everything else is coming in. If you're slowing up there, we have plenty of altitude to speed up and everything.
Yeah.
There. I'm pretty not that concerned about it. The slip was good. All that was good. Your placement coming in was good. Yeah,
No, it was cool. I was like, okay, this is not pretty, but I felt like we had enough altitude and yeah.
You know, it just didn't. Yeah, so you got out of position a little bit, but the.
All right, should we pull off?
Yep.
It took a while for that airspeed to come on. See that?
A little bit. Alright, so we're going to kind of hang out over here.
Okay.
And this time we're going to shoot right traffic into the airport, okay?
Okay.
So, see Taco Bell down there on the cul-de-sac? On the other side of
Taco Bell, yeah.
So that's more or less where we're going to be trying to line up to enter the pattern.
Okay.
So let's just kind of circle around here.
Yeah, we're getting kind of far out. Is that the high school?
Yep, it's high school. So the cool thing is, if you kind of mirror image the pattern from the other side, you can kind of gauge the distance out, right?
Yeah.
So right about that Taco Bell, the complex with all the fast food joints there, and the new pavement.
Yep.
That's about where we want to enter distance-wise, right? Away from the other side.
Kind of hang out over the water tower.
Sounds good. What other considerations do we have?
We got the wind, and it's gonna take us. I wanna leave here. I wanna leave now, personally.
Okay.
Like, because it's.
Well, so
I mean,
are we really, like, if you look at the ground drift and everything, are we really having that big of a problem penetrating right here?
No.
No.
We're moving.
But that's not a huge deal. But on base, we're going to be flying into more of a headwind, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine.
All right. Let's get ready for this. So gear, traffic, wind, spoilers, airspeed. All right. We're definitely higher. So I'm just going to go really wide.
Right downwind.
Oh, did I say left?
Yep, it's all good. There's no one else up here.
Alright, we're way far out. Speed, I'm gonna get that speed up. We're okay where we are right now, but we're gonna go short, so I'm gonna close these up at some point, I know that.
Well, it feels like we kind of stood still now, right?
Yeah.
So keep your speed up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm gonna close up for a second. Speed's good. We're far, so we're gonna. This doesn't look too bad yet. Speed's good. And we're low. Okay. Speed's good. A little shorter than last time. Speed's still good. There's the crowd. Slow. Keep it. Man, that wind, we just stopped.
Yeah.
Dead still. That was nuts. And it felt, I mean, with airspeed was getting slow, the ground speed got really slow. Yeah. I was changing a whole lot of things. Just like close, this, that. And I felt like I was just, like, I can solve all problems on short final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, we had plenty of altitude. If we're concerned about penetrating it, and we know the dive brakes are very effective.
Yeah.
Close it up and fly what you need to. You know, there's no reason to handicap ourselves later on in the pattern.
Okay.
You know, get it to where it needs to be.
I mean, is it okay going super wide like that? And
yeah, and that wasn't all that wide if you consider like where we basically turned was kind of in that same line of like the Red Barn, which is kind of the furthest we normally go out on a normal pattern. Right?
I mean, we were north of the Red Barn, right?
Not
Barely.
by much.
Right.
Not by much. It looked further out because we're 20 angles in. It's kind of a, you know, you look at that road and you're like, well, I'm so much further away from this road.
Yeah,
well, we're not
true.
that much further. You know, we're kind of abeam the barn more or less. When we looked and turned, we might have been just on the other side of it.
Okay.
It was a little further out. Plus, we are a little more crunched in on that side. But we had the headwind to deal with.
Yeah.
So, no, there's plenty of things that were, you know, I mean, you know, the big thing is we made it all the way up there. We didn't have to close the spoilers all the way up for very long. You know, and we didn't have to do it because we were getting low. We just had to do it because we weren't penetrating. We did, you know, into the wind. No, it was good. It was really good. Alright, so this time I would like to, we're going to land in the dirt, and our aim point is we want to be as close to the end of the runway as we can.
Okay.
So the ditch, like as if we're doing an off-field landing.
And that's like our fence.
That's our fence. That's like, we need to get down on this part of the property because we're not sure if we're going to make it and get stopped. We don't have extra room to fly down the runway.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a ditch there and a road, and so if we're going to be short, we'd rather be long than short.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's try and get as close to there as
I mean, so
comfortable.
I mean, do you want it to the point where like we're flaring way before we actually overfly the ditch?
Not way before, but kind of you'd be flaring over that road, you know, and then a little bit. But don't test the brakes, so we can kind of end up closing the spoilers to clean up the airfoil to roll as far as we can.
What do you mean about I missed that on the spoilers.
As soon as we touch down at half spoilers, if we close the spoilers, we will take off again.
Yeah.
So we want to leave the half spoilers out for a little bit, but then close them all the way up to extend our ground roll. Because with them out, even on the ground, they're still creating more drag.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean, do we? Okay, but we still want to use all the aerodynamic braking that we can. All right.
Yeah.
We're at 15. This is just having a freaking view.
Hey, what, Marty?
Yeah. What the heck was that?
He's just bored. I do the same thing. I borderline roll off toe.
Alright, let's just sit here over 2 lines. I want to talk this out in a second.
Okay.
But we want to close it up because we want to extend our roll.
Yes.
But not too early. But we still want to use all the aerodynamic braking that we want, right?
So flare, keep the tail on the ground as long as possible, yes. Keep the spoilers out a little bit, yes. As soon as we're rolling up the runway and the nose kind of drops, close the spoilers, extend the roll.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to kind of explain it. Because otherwise, with the tail on the ground, it's still at the highest angle of attack which the airplane wants to fly, right?
Yeah.
And so if we close the spoilers immediately, we'll take back off a little bit, almost like we bounced.
Yeah, okay.
Because we get rid of all the drag.
Yeah. I was wondering why we don't close the spoilers all the way, or open them all the way once we touch down. I've seen that done by a lot of people in videos.
If we're trying to, because that's where the brake is, and so they're not holding the die brake's out for any reason, they were trying to brake.
Alright.
To stop quickly. Or they're trying to use it to, they can, you know, you're slowing down more with the die brakes open. So if you just wanted to slow down without using the brake, because, you know, you hold the die brakes out.
Yeah. Alright, let's do one more rotation here. I think we can do it from here.
Notice as you look down and we keep this turn going, feel like we can see that now we're getting pushed more.
Yeah,
feel us accelerating.
Speed up. Speed up.
And then as we come around here, you'll feel us decelerate.
I noticed in XE Soar, it actually has wind data, and I'm wondering how that gets calculated.
The wind data?
Yeah, it has like, it'll tell you what direction the wind's coming from.
The Clearnout does it too, and it's mostly best at circling winds, but it's just tracking your GPS track versus your speeds.
Okay, and it's calculating.
Yeah.
Alright, that is sufficiently low actually. So let's start. Get the speed up. Alright, gear, traffic, wind, airspeed, trim, spoilers. I'm going to trim forward, get a little speed. And I'm going to call downwind. And we are hauling. Williams traffic lighter doing it with health on a left downwind for runway 16, landing in the wind. Alright, that looks pretty good. It's on the high side. Speed is good. Temperature is good. Yeah, we're just on the high side of it. And this is going to be fast too, so I'm going to go a little far out.
So we're fast now, we'll be fast when we turn around?
No, but we're going to be fast on this, so and that's it. And especially because we're aiming for we're definitely high because we're aiming for that, if we're aiming for the dirt line there.
Right.
So okay, that's fine. I'll keep that speed up. Alright. If anything, now we're low.
For the end of the runway?
Yeah. It's pretty good though. No, we're good. This is good. You can speed up.
You can almost come with more spoilers for a second, right?
Oh, and close them?
No, more.
Yeah.
A little bit. There you go. Line up.
Keeping the
Straight
speed
ahead.
up.
There we go. Now you get back to half.